because it's absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And so all you have is you just got to laugh about it.
I saw a guy on the internet the other day who said he used to be your security guard, who said that when you were dating J-Lo, Will Smith and Jada tried to pick her up on a you were going to beat up Will Smith. Is that true?
Yo, this show has gotten crazier since the last time I ever been here. No,
it's all about love, though. That's not true.
You really heard that? Nah.
What? Yeah.
What do you say about the allegations? There's like, like so many rumors. Anything you want to say?
We suing.
That you aired that last interview of me tearing Jada to pieces.
That was insane.
Yes.
I felt uncomfortable because I was like, I don't know what this beef is.
Yeah. Well,
you called her a dope fiend.
Yeah, I called her bald head.
Jada Pinkett Smith is trending again, and this time it's not because of red table talk or her marriage. Online, people are now questioning whether her connection to Diddy went far beyond friendship. Some are suggesting she played a role behind the scenes, helping manage narratives, quiet certain voices, and keep sensitive stories out of the spotlight. As Diddy's situation continues to unravel, her name is being pulled into the center of the conversation. Stay with us, because the story only gets more intense. Many believe this didn't start overnight. They point to years of whispers, old industry ties, and unresolved accusations that stayed in the shadows for a long time. But once federal scrutiny entered the picture, everything that had been ignored suddenly began to feel impossible to overlook.
Just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt. And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
Here, and I'm dropping evidence, period. You said I extorted you. You said as a money shakedown. You said a lot of things about me, and you know that the things that you said were untrue. Let's get into a little bit more of it. Jada runs Will.
Right. And it's nonsense. And this is a person that tried a shakedown, a money shakedown that didn't work. We're going to take legal action.
The internet is in full meltdown mode right now. As Diddy began facing serious pressure, Gene Deal started speaking out again. And once he began naming names and sharing stories, people started rewatching old interviews and moments with a completely different perspective. One of the biggest rumors circulating is that Jada isn't just being criticized online. Some are even claiming she could be under investigation. And it doesn't stop with her. Will Smith's name is being pulled into the conversation too, with reports suggesting authorities are reviewing allegations connected to Brazier Gray, Jada Smith, and even Jennifer Lopez. Yes, J.Lo is now being mentioned in all of this as well. So let's start there, because this part has people stunned. The story going around is that back when Diddy was dating Jennifer Lopez, he allegedly believed Will and Jada were making moves toward her. According to these claims, it wasn't seen as harmless or friendly. The tension was said to be so serious that Diddy reportedly felt it could escalate into a full-blown confrontation.
We were at a birthday party that I think either Matt Damien was giving for Ben Affleck. It was just a little gathering. They was at the Four Seasons. Will Smith and his sister and her husband, we were all sitting on this side of the room. Matt Damien, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez, Puff, Will Smith, and Jada, and it was sitting on the other side of the room. So I know Puff so well that he stood up. When he stood up, he walked and did his arm some kind of way, like, and then he went like this, like that. I went over towards him. I know to go over there towards him. So I go towards him, and he said to me, he said, "Yo, I think Will and Jada is trying to scoop up Jennifer. I want you to stay close, because I'm going to snuff him." I said to myself, Will Smith gonna beat the shit out you. I could move slow enough that Will could probably get 2 or 3 punches back in. Yeah, but that shit was funny. He thought that Jada and Will was coming on too strong to Jennifer, making advances.
Whether people believe it or not, that rumor alone poured fuel on a much bigger conversation. For years, the way Will and Jada have moved in public has always seemed unconventional. And over time, even Jada herself confirmed that their relationship wasn't nearly as traditional as it appeared. In her book, she revealed that she and Will had actually been separated since 2016, long before the public ever started noticing cracks in their marriage. Once that information came out, it completely changed how people looked at their past, their behavior, and the story they had been telling all along.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Will later gave his own explanation, and if anything, it only left people more puzzled. He said that he and Jada never believed it was their responsibility to make each other happy. In their view, each person was supposed to be fulfilled on their own, and they would come together as two complete individuals. He also suggested that divorce was never the goal. Instead, they agreed to stay connected and work through things, even when it became uncomfortable or complicated. The conversation grew even more intense when Will, in interviews tied to his memoir and a GQ cover story, acknowledged that both he and Jada had explored other relationships during their marriage. Once that became public, reactions quickly escalated. Speculation spread, and some people began pushing much darker narratives, claiming their lifestyle went beyond being open or unconventional and making serious, unproven accusations about harm to others. What keeps these discussions alive is that there is at least one situation the public knows about for certain: Jada's past relationship with singer August Alsina, which she openly addressed on Red Table Talk in 2020.
Everybody knew that I was very unhappy, but just couldn't figure out why. Because everybody thought how I thought. You've got everything. What is wrong with you? Because I didn't know what was wrong with me either. Because you have to remember, during that time, no one was really talking about mental health.
Yeah. Ayahuasca really was...
That was the turning point.
So that in and of itself turned you from the brink of...
And I never had a thought again. Now, in saying that, ayahuasca is not for everybody.
Yeah.
And I want to be very clear about that. You have to really have someone who's very trained to guide you through that. It was a very extreme, situation for me, but I swear I'm so grateful that I went through it, because in 4 days, I had 4 excruciating nights, but on the other side, I never...
And you never had a thought since then?
Never.
But Red Table Talk didn't stop at relationship drama. The show became known for putting very personal and controversial family conversations in the spotlight. One moment that shocked many viewers involved Jada Smith. During a discussion, Jada shared that while she was struggling with depression, she introduced Jada to alternative approaches to mental health. Jada later said this led him to research different plant-based therapies that some people believe can support emotional healing. This is where the backlash grew. Online, people began interpreting those comments as meaning psychedelic substances, and some accused Jada of exposing her child to things they felt were inappropriate. The debate intensified because Jada has also spoken publicly about her own experiences with such treatments and has said they helped her during a very difficult period in her life. Those statements, whether people agree with them or not, are a big reason the conversation around this topic refuses to die down.
What are you saving for?
I'm going to buy my parents' house.
You're going to buy your parents' house from them?
From them, yes.
Okay. Will they then stay there with you?
No, I'm going to give them a little apartment.
Will that be like in the backyard, or where will they...
Jada didn't talk about these plant-based therapies like some casual experiment. He described them as a deep emotional reset, something people turn to when they feel completely stuck in life. From his perspective, he believed they could help break through mental barriers, whether that meant past trauma, heavy emotions, or even issues tied to ego. He also emphasized that working with trained professionals made the experience feel more meaningful and, in his words, more spiritual. But once the public heard that, the discussion quickly shifted. Instead of focusing on healing, many zeroed in on the idea of substances, and that's where the tone darkened. After years of nonstop controversy, new rumors began circulating that Jaden didn't simply grow up and move on like most celebrity kids. Some are now claiming he allegedly left home and legally distanced himself from his parents altogether. That, of course, sparked a major question online. What would make a son feel the need to completely separate from his own family?
I sense that there's a there's a distance in terms of affection showing between the general and his son.
Absolutely.
Is it like that at home or no?
Nah,
No,
not really.
we're
Not
very
really.
affectionate.
Well,
We're very affectionate.
He tried to kiss me in the
Have you ever
press
kissed your son on Thai television before?
You're not looking kiss
Can
my
you kiss your
son.
Thai on Thai
I
television?
can kiss my son. Jaden, come on.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Oh my God, this is ridiculous.
Jada, just take one, because you've been fighting me the whole press tour. Just take one.
What?
Just take one. I just want to
Take
kiss
one
you.
what?
I want to kiss you. And just say, Jada.
Like,
Keep a smile. Just keep a smile. Just keep a smile. Just keep a smile.
That's when Jaguar Wright and a few others began pushing a far more disturbing narrative. Online, they suggested that Jaden may have wanted distance because of things they claim were happening behind the scenes, making serious and unproven accusations involving Will Smith. What made the conversation spiral even more was that some people started re-examining old public footage and interviews, arguing that certain moments on camera now look different in hindsight, as if clues had been hiding in plain sight all along. These remain allegations and internet speculation, but they added a much darker tone to the discussion.
Hard drives from Jada's house. So now we get into why she's even more mad. Jada would watch at the houses. She had her laptop. She would stick her hard drive in, right? Boom, and hook it up to the TV. And she could play whatever video she watching. So I'm seeing videos of her and Will and a bunch of others, some celebrities, everything. Because remember, the last interview I told you, if you don't sue me, I'm going to let people know who you've been hitting with them. And I said, if you don't sue, I'm going to sue. So I told you, being Muslim, whatever I say I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to do.
According to these claims, it didn't stop with their own children. Some are now saying that the Smith household wasn't just unconventional, it was allegedly a place where boundaries were blurred, and other young people were drawn into a troubling environment that many believe should never have been considered normal. This is where one of the most shocking voices entered the conversation. Someone who used to be close to Will. An ex-best friend reportedly came forward, accusing the couple of targeting innocent men, fostering an inappropriate atmosphere in their home, and exposing their children to situations that no minor should ever have encountered.
Because it's absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And so all you have is you just got to laugh about it, you know? And it's unfortunate because...
Did he ask you, like, do I look like I give off bottom energy?
He was like, do you believe this?
Things took another dramatic turn when Brother Ball stepped into the spotlight and openly called out Jada. He claimed that he had warned her directly. If she didn't take legal action against him, he would start sharing what he had witnessed. When no lawsuit followed, he said he didn't stay silent. Instead, he filed his own case. Shortly after, he reportedly left the United States, a move that only fueled more suspicion and speculation online.
Action?
Word. You should.
Yeah, no, we are. For sure.
I was asking how's Will dealing with it, you know, with...
Oh.
Does he laugh it off?
Release a statement.
Will, here's one good thing about Will. Will's always going to find the funny.
I figured that.
Yeah, he's always going to find the funny. You know what I'm saying? And so...
Y'all laughed at the...
Bilal didn't just accuse Jada of lying. He also claimed she acted out of anger and panic. According to his account, she rushed to appear on the Breakfast Club to control the narrative, accusing him of extortion and money shakedowns, even while acknowledging that she didn't have all the facts.
One being Charles Austin, a.k.a. Charlie Mack, the federal informant. And he reached out to me through a friend, right? One of my best friends.
Charlie Mack, are you one? Is that the one that I believe, and I want to say allegedly, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's alleged, even my name's alleged. It was alleged that he had touched Jaden, Will Smith's Charlie Mack, his best friend.
Yeah, that's been.
He essentially framed it as Jada putting herself and Will at legal risk by making bold public claims that, according to him, had no real evidence to back them up. Later, he added that her lawyer sent him a cease and desist letter, and in response, he reported that lawyer to the bar, which only made the whole situation even messier.
When I pull up to my apartment in Columbia, there are a bunch of guys with two guys with black pants and white shirt, Scientologist outfits, right? Not saying they Scientologists, who knows, right? And then there was another guy who I found out to be a private investigator, and they were by my house. So I told him to drive past, right? So he drove past, he parked. And I'm like, damn, why are they in front of my house? But the crazy thing before that, somebody sent a picture of the front of my door in my apartment and texted to me from a number.
The most serious aspect, according to Ball, involved Jaden. He claimed that troubling incidents connected to Jaden contributed to why the young star sought legal independence at such an early age. Once he made that statement, this stopped feeling like typical celebrity drama. It began to sound like a much bigger story, one that hinted at possible danger behind closed doors.
Guys that are A-listers that's bigger than Diddy is only one that I could come up with. And there's a few I could come up with. Will Smith, he's bigger than Diddy. I would think Nick Cannon is bigger than Diddy. Who else on the black that are black actors or black in the business that's an A-lister that's bigger than?
Once these allegations started piling up, people began suggesting this was the real reason Jaden allegedly sought emancipation, not for the typical celebrity kid freedom, but to put distance between himself and the family. When Ball spoke out, he made it clear that ongoing legal matters involving Will and Jada prevented him from saying everything publicly, but he claimed he planned to reveal much more through writing. The most shocking claim he hinted at was that Jada allegedly tried to have him taken out simply for speaking too loudly, drawing comparisons to the way some say Diddy dealt with anyone who became a problem.
And I don't want to say their names, but they said I got their names wrong last time.
If this person really is a top-tier celebrity, it might not even be someone from the same hip-hop circle. He pointed out that Diddy didn't just run with one group. He had access to Hollywood's elite, too. He mentioned that Rat Pack-style crowd, but avoided saying names too confidently because he didn't want to get dragged again for mixing people up.
But I heard that that's not only the tape that's being shot. There's some other tapes out there, other people.
Fast forward to the present, and with Diddy now behind bars facing serious charges, the public's focus isn't just on him anymore. People are scrutinizing everyone who's been close to him over the years, and Jada Pinkett Smith keeps coming up, her name refusing to leave the conversation. According to Gene Deal, the reason Jada keeps getting mentioned is a belief that she and Will may allegedly be connected to some of the tapes Diddy kept from his FO nights. Deal claims there's one specific tape circulating that supposedly shows Diddy with another man, and the rumor is that this man is an A-list celebrity. From there, Gene began speculating out loud, asking viewers to consider which industry figures could be bigger than Diddy. He mentioned names like Will Smith and Nick Cannon, noting that in his mind, it's difficult to find many black A-listers more powerful than Diddy, which makes narrowing it down a challenge.
If he's bigger than Diddy, and he's not none of the names that I said, probably so.
Gene took it even further, suggesting that if this person is truly a top-tier celebrity, they might not even come from the same hip-hop circle. He pointed out that Diddy didn't just move within one group, he had connections to Hollywood's elite as well. He referenced that Rat Pack style crowd, but carefully avoided naming anyone directly, knowing that making a mistake could get him dragged again for mixing people up.
Something didn't make him snap anything. He laughed at that bad joke that Chris said like everybody else. And then Jada looked at him and it was like the Manchurian Candidate.
Not the Manchurian. Not the Manchurian. God damn it.
Here is an angle most people have not seen. Look at Jada's reaction.
It was a G.I. Jane. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. I'm going to, okay? So I can go. Okay. That was the greatest night in the history of television. Okay. So we are here. Y'all know what happened to me. Getting smacked by Suge Smith. Everybody knows. Yes, I got smacked in the Oscars by this mother. And people like, did it hurt? It still hurts. But I'm not a victim, baby. You will never see me on Oprah or Gail crying. Never gonna happen. I couldn't believe it. And I love Men in Black. No. I love Will Smith. I have rooted for Will Smith my whole life. I root for this. Okay? And a lot of people go, Chris, how come you didn't do nothing back? How come you didn't do nothing back that night? Because I got parents. That's why. Because I was raised. Okay? And you know what my parents taught me? Don't fight in front of white people.
This is the part that has people giving the Smiths even more side-eye. Gene didn't just describe Will and Jada as distant observers. He painted them as being fully part of the same world. The same private parties, the same exclusive rooms, the same powerful circles where, according to insiders, things allegedly happened that never saw the light of day. Gene and others claimed this wasn't just casual celebrity networking. It was a tightly controlled environment where certain behaviors were protected, hidden, and treated as if they didn't matter. Then the conversation took an even more uncomfortable turn. What if the person in the tape isn't black at all? Gene said that would still fit the narrative, since Diddy's connections went far beyond hip-hop. He wasn't just moving with rappers, but also mingling with high-level Hollywood names, which only opens the door to even more speculation.
On social media. She was 13 with a 22-year-old man in her bed.
Saw that.
It's no big deal. They were just hanging out.
And that's when Gene dropped a name that made people pause. He suggested that if the person was younger, highly famous, and not black, Justin Bieber could be a possibility. Once that name entered the conversation, it made people even more uneasy. After all, Bieber, Will Smith, and Diddy have all crossed paths in exclusive industry circles at different times. Suddenly, the internet started connecting dots nobody had asked to be connected. But just as things were already heating up, Jaguar rights allegations came in and completely changed the energy. Jaguar has long claimed that Jada's influence over Will wasn't just about their marriage in her view. It was far bigger. She alleges Jada was tied to deeper power structures, the same types of elite circles Diddy moved in. According to Jaguar, these were spaces where behavior that would shock most people was treated as normal behind closed doors. When Jaguar discussed the Chris Rock slap moment, she said she didn't believe Will simply lost control. In her account, Will initially laughed at the joke like everyone else. The real turning point, she claimed, came when Jada reacted. That look from her allegedly triggered something in him, and the rest became history.
That could be his Saturday night in L.A.
So.
And he's up in your daughter bed.
Yeah.
With his shirt off, frolicking.
Jaguar doesn't just make one allegation and move on. She keeps circling back to the same point again and again. In her view, this kind of chaos only happens in powerful circles where the usual rules don't apply. She argues that people like Diddy don't survive for decades by luck. They survive because they're protected. Jaguar claims Jada wasn't some random outsider in that world. Instead, she portrays her as someone who navigated those elite spaces with ease, where behavior that would shock an average family gets excused as growth, self-expression, or simply part of the lifestyle. Then Jaguar brings up something that made a lot of people stop and take notice. This wasn't just rumor or behind-the-scenes gossip. It was something that allegedly appeared online for everyone to see. She treated it as proof that boundaries were never respected in the first place.
Has anybody seen Bilal?
Come on.
I asked him. Didn't I ask for him last?
Come on.
Where's Bilal? Is he missing with Cuba? Have they all moved to Bali with Russell Simmons and Kevin Love?
From there, Jaguar's commentary takes an even darker turn. She paints the situation in stark, unsettling terms. forcing people to confront just how disturbing it allegedly was. Her goal is to make the audience feel the weight of how wrong it is, while emphasizing that a child is still a child no matter how anyone tries to justify, label, or downplay the situation.
Buy, do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bashir Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog. And that was they kid's friend.
According to Jaguar, what makes the situation even worse is that she doesn't believe the harm was limited to Will and Jada's own children. She claims other young people around them were also negatively affected, influenced, or corrupted while under Will's protection. In her view, the most frustrating part is that Will hasn't taken responsibility for any of it. Jaguar frames the situation as unfinished until Will addresses what happened to every young person impacted in that environment. The story isn't complete. She even names individuals like Brazier Gray and August Alsina, and continues revisiting the uncomfortable questions people already have about Will's own son.
Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
After that, Jaguar shifts from individual stories to patterns. She begins highlighting what she sees as a recurring cycle. Young men who get close to Will gradually start to change over time. She points to dramatic personality shifts, moments caught on camera, public outbursts, emotional breakdowns, and behavior that appears unstable. In her view, these aren't just random incidents or typical celebrity issues. She frames them as warning signs, the kind of changes that often stem from trauma.
Star for television when the truth is she wasn't nothing but a dealer's. That's all she ever was. She went from dealer to dealer, and then she snitched on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with Harry Lair, my friend who raised Bashir in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy, and I hope anybody that bought it asks for a fucking refund and demands it comes out of your pocket.
Jaguar places a special focus on Brazier Gray, and her tone becomes almost emotional. She says the most heartbreaking part isn't just what happened to him, it's that she believes he's still seeking approval from the very system that hurt him. She predicts the industry will keep dangling false hope, promising him a comeback just to keep him quiet and under control, and she makes it clear she doesn't trust those promises at all. Jaguar issues a stark warning. If anything happens to Brazier, nobody should be surprised, because she claims she's been sounding the alarm for years. She also gives a nod to Mord Morelli, saying she respects his commentary because, as a survivor of sexual abuse himself, he can recognize patterns that others overlook. In her view, his insight adds credibility to the warnings she's been raising.